All right, welcome to the bonus training. This is how to create compelling court documentation like your life depended on it. I'm Taylor Wins, divorce attorney, co-parent, divorced mom of four, and creator of the High Conflict Co-Parenting Journal. And if you're watching this, I want to start by saying I see you. You're dealing with someone who doesn't play fair. You're exhausted. You've been told to document everything, but no one has ever shown you how to do it in a way that actually helps you in court. This is that training. I'm not here to waste your time. I'm here to give it back to you. I'm going to walk you through the exact system that I teach my clients to use and the one I use myself to document legal abuse, conflict, and patterns in a way that gets taken seriously by the court. So let's get into it. Step one, first things first, you want to capture everything, even if it's messy. Here is the biggest myth that will ruin it for you if you're not careful. You have to be all put together to start documenting. You don't. You just need to start. So while there are instances and things ongoing between you and your co-parent that are affecting and involving the children, you want to just start at the beginning and get everything recorded and documented right away. We can go back and we can fix it later. So, what I want to make sure that you're doing is I want to make sure that you're getting everything out of your head and into your hands and eventually down on paper so that if something happens, like an incident, a conversation, a weird gut feeling, you have it recorded so that you can start to show signs of patterns in behavior and ongoing like accumulation of things that makes a difference to the court, not some random one-off isolated incident that you just happen to remember to write down that time. So what I do and what I have my clients do to make sure that the things are getting documented in real time is I open up my phone and I use the voice memo app. So if something happens, like I have an incident on March 26th, I will open up the voice memo app on my phone as soon as I'm driving away from that situation. If my kids are with me, of course, I don't do it in front of my kids, but as soon as I can like get home into a quiet space where I can just start unloading my thoughts, I do that on the voice memo. But let's just jive with the idea that maybe like you're driving away from an exchange or from some sort of situation and you're by yourself. Immediacy is best. So you're going to pull out your phone, you're going to open up the voice memo app on your phone, and you're just going to start like vomiting it out, right? Like word vomiting it out, just talking out whatever just happened. So you're going to say, today is March 26th of 2025. And I just had an incident and an exchange with my co-parent, and you're just gonna start talking about what happened. I showed up at the parking lot of the gymnastics gym, and we had this volatile exchange between us, and the kids were there, and I said this, and then this happened, and he said that, and then this physical, thing happened where the door was slammed or the kid got out or whatever, and this is how they responded. And then, very importantly, I want you to also get into some of the things that we tend to forget later, like how you felt when the thing was going on. What was everybody wearing? Where were you standing? Where was the other person standing? Where were the kids? Were they in earshot or not? Did they say anything? Were there other people around when the exchange or the incident happened? And you're just going to start like, just whatever's up here in your head, you're going to start getting it out into that voice memo app. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It can be full of likes and ums. Just get it out of your head and into the app. Talk it out. Say what happened, when, where, who was there, how it impacted your child. Then later, you're going to go back when you have the time and space to do it. You're going to transcribe your audio. So I use right now Riverside FM. I think they have a free version. I started using it when I was transcribing audios for my clients. I later started a podcast and started using it for my podcast. But it is a tool where you can upload your audio into it. You can do it from your phone. You can airdrop your voice memo to your computer and do it from your computer, but you're going to upload your audio and then it will auto generate the captions or the transcription. So then it'll auto generate this transcription and you can go back and you can download the transcription. I put it into like Google Drive on a Google Doc, and then you can edit the transcription from there. Super important as you're editing the transcription. Sometimes additional information will come to your mind. Take the opportunity to add that in and free write about that. Don't even worry about grammar or perfection yet. We just want to get like the raw version out of the truth out, one out of your head into the voice memo, from the voice memo into writing. And then we'll talk about refining it later when you're like in a calmer space and when you might be able to write without being so triggered. But for now, we want to make sure that no details that could be important when we're documenting things and patterns of behavior are lost. All right, now we're on to step number two. So you want to edit this like it's going in front of the judge. You've got your rough draft, you've thought everything out, and you've put it into a voice memo. Now you've transcribed it and it's all in writing. You've added to it with some kind of like free writing, journaling out almost kind of like what you were thinking, how you felt, how your body felt, how you perceived things happening with your kids. And that's all out there now, and that is great. I love this for you. It is so necessary. But what I want you to do now is we want to edit it into something that the judge is going to take into consideration. And to do that, we want to stick to the facts and lose the fire. So on that Google Doc that you've already created, I want you to save the original. But then I want you to make a copy of the original and have it be like a new retitled document so that you can start editing and peeling back and getting just to the facts in a new document without losing all the work you've already done because some of that it is all so valid, so crucial, and so important, but not all of it is going to be considered by the judge. So I don't want you to lose it. I need you to remember it and keep it. That's why you're going to save the original and make a copy and create a new document. But then we're going to start peeling away some of the things that you may have said in your voice memo, some of the things that you may have written when you were doing like a raw version of like writing out everything and journaling everything out. And you're going to make it clean and you're going to edit like it's going to the judge. Okay. So you're going to remove any time that you did any name calling. There's no name calling in this document because this might be an affidavit in the future. So there's no name calling, no swearing, no emotional jabs. You're not writing this to like win an emotional war. You're writing this to tell the truth and the way that a court could receive it because the truth is going to speak for itself. If you are documenting stuff over time, there are going to be patterns that show up. There are going to be accumulation of little things that if they're isolated, maybe aren't that big of a deal. But when we have 100 incidences of it, now it is a big deal that needs to be addressed. So instead of saying things like, he's a manipulative liar, he always tries to turn the kids against me, I want you to try language that's more like on May 4th of 2025, my child stated that their father told them, I don't care about their sports and activities. See how different that is? Than like he's trying to manipulate the kids against me to saying he specifically stated on this date to this child X about me. And then you can go on to say, I believe this was designed to give the child a perception about me that isn't true. But it is short, it's clear, it's clean, it's documented. And if this is happening over time, time and again, we can go back to January of 24 and we can say, he said this time, he said this that time, and we can start to build that pattern, right? Because that's what judges want. They want facts, they want patterns, they want timelines. They do not want your emotional opinion of a character assassination of that other person. So keep it focused, clean, and calm, and that's how your words stay powerful. Step three, now it's time to back it up with evidence. This is where you build all of your credibility. Once your written documentation is clear, you're going to start gathering supporting materials to back it up. You're going to go ahead and take screenshots of any text messages that may have been exchanged between you and the party. Anything that's downloadable, like emails, you can print to PDF on your emails. You're going to download the emails between you and the other party. If you're on Our Family Wizard, you're going to download your Our Family Wizard logs or any other communication app that you might have, any calendars, any other things that can support what it is that you're talking about. So, for example, say you want to document something that happened at the basketball tournament, you might choose to include any screenshot, text messages leading up to the basketball tournament, any information that you exchange with the other party about going to this tournament, maybe the calendar printout that shows that everybody was in fact at the tournament. Maybe there's communication between you and the coach or you and other parents that you want to include. I would definitely say be careful about including things with third parties. It needs to have a very good reason why it's being included. But for example, maybe you have a message where you're specifically telling the basketball coach that Johnny is going to be at his dad's house this weekend. And while you appreciate that the coach reached out to you about something, that communication needs to go to Johnny's dad because that's where Johnny is so that, dad and Johnny can have that conversation. Well, sometimes these types of things happen and maybe dad accuses you of not letting Johnny's basketball coach have his contact information or something like that. Well, you could back it up with the messages that you have with Johnny's coach so that you can prove, not just saying it, but with documentation, what really occurred. You might also choose to include photos or videos if it's safe and legal to capture those photos or to capture those videos. If the police have ever been involved, you may want to procure any police reports. Sometimes there's a need for medical or therapy notes. Therapy can be tricky because a lot of times that communication is safe harbored for a good reason. We want kids to be able to say what they need to say in therapy. We want people to be able to get the help that they need to get in therapy. But if you are having a situation where your child, for example, is threatening to run away or something based on the actions of the other parent, and you take this very seriously and you need to document that it's not you just making it up. The child really reported this. Sometimes therapy notes can be used for a limited scope, but do be very careful. Check with the providers before you start like just throwing therapy notes around because those typically are confidential. Any incidents reports from the school or with third parties, all of that should be included because you need support for your case and for what it is that you're documenting, not just how you feel and not just what you say. A pro tip for the photos, the videos, and that kind of thing, you can always, if you have an iPhone, like if you push the picture up underneath it, there's like a bunch of metadata that's in there that says like what the date and time that the photo was captured. There's a map showing the location of the picture. So you can also like take a screenshot of the metadata to add support to the pictures and the videos that you're setting forth. Or when you're taking screenshots, sometimes of like things on social media and stuff like that, you need to, or you want to try to capture like when was the post made and things like that so we can see the whole picture because that's really going to render good support. A little pro tip here is that you want to make sure your evidence supports the timing and the details of what you wrote. Keep the screenshots like full screen, download email threads in full, not just fragments, because nothing looks worse than like you put an email in there because you want to prove a point, but maybe you said something earlier that causes confusion or that the other person's going to come back and like show. Keep original file names. Don't like alter file names. You're keeping and creating a trail, one that's organized and impossible to ignore. Step four, the last thing is you're going to store it like a lawyer would. You're doing all of this work, so don't lose it in your camera roll, okay? What you're going to do for photos and videos that are in your camera roll, create a separate album for them so that as you get deeper into this process of documentation, you can quickly refer to them and pull up exactly what you're looking for. So here's some other tips for how to make that super effective. I want you to go if you have a Gmail email address, and if you don't have one, just go get one because I don't know how to do this on any other platform. But you're going to create a Google Drive folder labeled documentation, right? Or co-parenting documentation. And inside of it, you're going to make folders by category. Okay. You're going to have a folder for like your initial documentation. Remember, I said you're going to record it, you're going to transcribe it, and then you're going to throw it in a Google Doc so you can supplement it, add to it. And then you're going to create a copy that you're going to edit. Well, that initial work that you did in the initial Google Doc, I want you to put that in your initial documentation folder so you can keep all of the originals. You also want to create a folder for the voice memos so you can go back and refer to those later too. So you're going to keep a whole separate folder for voice memos, and then you're going to have original documentation. Then you're going to have your final written incidents. And so that's going to be the edited portion of your written incidents that you edited after you added to the voice transcription. You're going to keep a separate folder for screenshots, a separate folder for videos, you're going to keep a separate folder for photos, like actual photos of specific things, not your screenshots, but like your photos of the kids, your photos of what happened at this exchange or event. And you're going to keep a folder for your videos, like what happened when you were recording this thing going on. Then you're going to have a folder for your screenshots for your text messages, have a folder for your emails, and then have a folder for school reports, therapy and medical records, and then any court documents that are served upon you and any filings that are made either by you or the other party. Come up with a way to title each document that is going to start with the date. So I like to do mine by year. So I would do like 2025 period 03 period 26, right? March 26, 2025. And then I would say like soccer practice denied permission. And then I can easily go by date and I can find what I'm looking for so that you can, one, if you ever need to put this up in like an evaluation or in a motion practice proceeding or something like that, you have everything available to you right there, clean and ready to go. Or if you ever need to hire an attorney or go to trial, you have just saved yourself so much money and stress because so much of that person's work will already be done. So, some final thoughts here for you as we close this bonus training. I know that this feels so heavy, but this system and this structure gives you something powerful for when everything feels completely out of control. Remember, documentation is not about retaliation, it's about your protection and the protection of your children. This is for your peace and for your future. Now, go take this seriously, watch the red flags become patterns over time. Write it down, speak your truth, and prepare just in case the court ever needs to see the whole story. You're doing an incredible job. You're not crazy, you're just prepared. I'm so proud of you.